Taylor Swift, so lovely and talented. So much so that she even inspired some furniture flippers to make a challenge. Hosted by Krystal from Crafty Creech DIYs and Furniture Flips, and Jenn from Copper Cactus DIY. It's a unique antique challenge. It's the Show Flipper Challenge. First, I'd like you to meet my advisor, my granddaughter, Laney. Now, she's grown a little bit since she and her friends went to see the Taylor Swift Eras movie. Even got their picture in the paper. Recently, I picked up Laney after school, and we went to Sweet Frog for a design consultation. She showed me her bracelet after a Taylor Swift song, Bad Blood. We talked about Taylor's many looks and which ones we liked the best. There are so many pretty ones. But these are Taylor's eras. This is one of my favorites. And so is the next one. But we were also trying to think about things that would be very sellable. I think these kinds of things would sell really well. This was one of Laney's favorites. I think we landed on this look right here. This is from 2022, when Taylor won 4 MTV awards. She now has 30 and holds the record for the most. This is the chair that we're going to use to honor her MTV success. We'll use this logo on the back of the chair. And on the back of the back, I think we're going to do her face. I'm considering, and Laney thinks we can do it, paint this stencil on the back. On the seat, we're going to focus kind of on her skirt to make it have that vibe, but still be comfortable to sit on. But before we can do all that fun stuff, we have a lot of work ahead of us. We have to pull out a ton of tacks. And when I say we, I think I mean me. There was a split in the wood, which wasn't structural. It was just a cracked piece, thank heavens. So I was able to repair that with some wood glue. But oh, the tacks. As you can see, this is rather slow going. Trust me, I won't make you sit through all of these tacks. Well, this is taking forever. I finally got to a point where I was satisfied with how many I had removed, and they weren't all out, but as many as I thought I could handle and still get staples in there. Then I used that wood glue and glued that piece in and used some tape to hold it down. By the way, Laney did record some of the sections that you're seeing here, so I think she did a pretty good job for an almost 8-year-old. Here I'm mixing up some Bondo. This mixes up real easily. The blue part is a hardener, and you just have to mix it together. This was just a real quick pack that I got from Michael's. It's not a big can. It's probably going to cost less if I would actually get a can. But there were some places on the bottoms of the legs, especially this one, that really were missing that... There was like a thing that went up in the middle of it. I'm not explaining it very well, but it was kind of like a button on the bottom of the chair so it wouldn't scratch floors, but it had a metal piece that went up inside. So we had to fill that and also just kind of make it look neater. So Bondo dries pretty quickly, so I was able to come back in the next day. I could have done it sooner after a couple hours and just sand it to make it nice and smooth, and you'll never know that that repair was made. Now it's time to fine tune a little bit. I still had lots of fibers left, so I'm using a lighter, and I have a wet paper towel here handy just to follow up so we don't have any accidents under my tent. That wouldn't be good. This process also revealed some additional places where I could remove some tacks that might be in the way of staples. I wanted to get the majority of them, but believe me, they used a million little tacks. Now we're ready to clean. I'm just using some Dawn Power Wash and just wiping it back with a wet paper towel. Finally ready to paint. I'm using Dixie Belle Silk in the color Anchor. Using some webbing, I begin to weave from the front to back and side to side until I have a grid that will support some foam and then fabric. I'm using a staple gun and with 1/2-inch staples to attach the webbing. I continued over the entire chair until it was all done. Then I added some 2-inch foam and then some quilt batting. It took me a while to just poke everything in, all the shapes, and then just make some cuts to tuck everything in. Then I added my fabric. And the same process, I just kind of stretched the fabric. I'm not an upholsterer, so I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just taking it step by step. If I had it to do over again, I would use a double thickness of this 2-inch foam for the seat. I love this disco ball fabric. It sort of reminds me of the awards as well. So I continue to just tuck everything in and staple away. And I also add some foam to the back piece. This took me all day. Literally, it took an entire day. I cut the MTV out, I basted everything, but I think the problem was I flipped that shiny fabric over to get the black TV side, and I think it was just too slippery, the two pieces together. So finally, when I attached the big M on the fabric, it went a little smoother. But yeah, that was a day I won't get back. I just used a small zigzag stitch and attached everything. I just I did it over the TV around the M, and that's how I attached it to the back. The back fabric is a little bit heavier fabric. It's super soft though. It's almost like a suede fabric, but it's very luxurious. I love the way it feels. I just fit that fabric over the back of the chair, just trying to center it and figure out exactly where I want it before I begin to staple. Because I'm saying Taylor Swift a lot, this came across my feed. Over 100 million album sales. Look at those electric blue eyes. It's time to try to see if I can make Taylor's image on the back of the chair. So I have another piece of fabric, and I have a stencil that I got from Debbie's Design Diary, her DIY go-go. It's called the Portrait Stencil. And it's a woman's face, and I've used it only once before on a piece of furniture, but this time the hairstyles, you can mix and match hairstyles, and the hairstyles on this one are nothing like Taylor's hair, so I had to improvise. But it was really fun to do, but then I got to the point where I just kept sending pictures, showing pictures to my husband and saying, does this look like her? Does this look like her? Finally, when I think that I nailed the lips, that we got somewhere that looked more like Taylor. So it was fun. Using the same process on the back, I didn't use foam this time, only the batting, and I'm centering the image again to begin stapling. Again, I trim off excess fabric. Through this whole process, I put in a lot of staples that were not good that I had to remove. So it was a whole big learning curve, especially when I got to the part where I was putting the trim on. Then I could, easily see mistakes. And I made initial cuts of fabric, and then I came back in and then did a lot closer. So that's kind of how the process went.
One velvet submarine shoots across the scene as I leave.
After I trimmed around the seat fabric, I used fray check because this fabric could possibly fray. So I probably should have tucked it under, but I didn't. But I want to make sure that it doesn't run. So I am using that fray check, which is essentially a glue. Speaking of glue, did you ever use this? It's that great big circle of glue stick. This is great for projects like this so that you don't have to keep changing the glue sticks. And you've probably seen this trick before, that you just put a little hot glue on the tip of the new stick to put it in so that it just smoothly feeds. I used this gimp braid, folded over the end, started at the bottom, and went the whole way around the back of the chair.
One custom armchair worn to the nub, that's me now. Oh, I'm different now. I'm rippled somehow.
I kept a wet rag handy. This was ideal for pressing down and also for cleaning up messes as I went. Also, through the process, there were times when I found staples or that I had gone, too far on one side, so I had to adjust those things as I went. My helper came back to help me apply the fringe along the bottom of the chair. She also came back to film. We used silver gilding wax to accent the chair.
Yeah, looks good. Okay. Alright, we don't want to get too much on, so looks.
Make sure to watch the entire playlist. This is exhausting. Somebody's taking a nap.
Shoots across the scene as I leave. Oh, pretty face, you don't have to woo me. Just admit that you want me. You want me. Pretty face, I can tell from the look in your eyes that you got it.
As always, thank you so much for watching today. If you like this content, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Find Statement Designs on the web at www.statementdesigns.org and on social media at Statement Designs. Stay well.